Smith has been based here at Bridge Farm for the last 4 years, and with wins at Royal International Horse Show, Royal Windsor and Horse of the Year Show, she's certainly got plenty of accolades under her belt. With Royal Windsor in just a week's time, I'm here today to talk to Vicky about all the preparations being made for that historic event. There's a huge amount to talk about as we move through today.
Okay.
But where did it all first begin? Where did your initial passion for horses come from?
Not too sure, really. I think my grandfather was involved in the mounted section in the army, so that's very historical. And then my mum grew up, she had a horse, she evented, she did some showing, but she just sort of had one horse. She never specialised in showing as such. And then as I grew up, Mum said from an early age I used to walk around the house carrying a photo of her on her horse, and I wearing her painty hat, and she said, you know, on a rocking horse. So I think from an early age I was kind of like born into wanting to do it. And then as I went, you know, up the ranks, I started just with one pony. We didn't have a lorry. Mum would just ride a bike. We'd go off to local shows, and Mum would beside me on a bike, you know, put him in every class we could. We did body pony, we did young handler, we did gymkhana, we did equitation. There was never, you know, it was just go and have a nice time a pony. And yeah, so I started off with a very sort of all-round generic background in the pony club, and then when I was 9 I was approached by a lady called Liz Milner, who has the Hume stud in Lower Pever, local to where I live now. She had a very good stallion called Layville Harlequin, and he gave me the first like taste of the big time, I guess. I won at Cheshire Show on him, and Cheshire Show to people that live in Cheshire is a pretty big thing. That's the one you will want to win at. And then kind of went from there really. I rode a lot of ponies for her. As I grew up, she was very kind, and she diverged into Connemara's. I rode a Connemara called Sid Surf Golden Oak. He was third at Hoy's 3 years on the bounce. So I guess then I became pretty hungry for a Hoy's win. And we went to Horse of the Year Show and we won, and then we were champion, and then that kind of was it then. That was the start of wanting to do more in the showing world. I'd sort of got the bug back. Karen and Hayley have been extremely supportive. They've still got horses with me now. We've got 2 horses with me now, like, you know, 10 years later. I remember after I'd won Hoy's, I went back to school on the Monday morning, having got home from Hoy's at about 11 o'clock. To have a kid telling me that he'd forgotten his blazer, and another kid asking if I knew whether there was a spare tie, and then one little girl who was quite shy, and she had been waiting for me by the reception to say well done because she'd been watching it on the live stream. So that was quite good. And then I suppose the showing grew from there really. I started to be approached to have horses. 2018 I went to Hoy's and won with 2 horses and had 7 horses there, and had to go back to school again on that Monday morning. And at that point I thought, I think it's time now to make a decision. I left in January 2019 and never gone back. Yeah. Here I am.
You mentioned Pony Club just a short while ago.
Yeah.
Did you ever envisage all this success when you were back in the Pony Club?
Absolutely not. I mean, we would go to Horse of the Year Show in Olympia on the Pony Club coach, and you know, at that time my hero was John Whittaker and Milton, and to get a glimpse at Milton, or you know, to try and catch one of John's rosettes as he threw them out to the crowd, that was, yeah, no, I absolutely never dreamed. And still now, Horse of the Year Show there is something that when you arrive on that car park you get butterflies in your tummy, and it's really, really, really special.
I suppose it's a great thing for those watching that are in the Pony Club to hear is what an inspiration that you can sit there in the stands at Horse of the Year Show and watch, and one day, if you work hard, you may very well end up at Horse of the Year Show yourself under the purple lights, which is just a feeling that I don't think you can ever replicate. No,
you can't. And yeah, I was that little girl sat there dreaming. Yeah, believe it or not. And I still sit there now, and it's watching people trot down that centre line. There is nothing like that.
It's incredible.
Incredible, absolutely.
Vicky Smith, congratulations on that win for the year.
You've had so much success over the years, so many championships under your belt, but is there one show that you've had the win at that has been the most memorable for you?
Yeah, I'd say my first Winter Horse of the Year show was special, but a lot of, that was a real team effort from Hayley, Karen Sankey and myself. I think for us, for me and for Alan, my partner and mum, it's definitely Blin Cosby's win at Hoy's in 2018. We got him for a bit of fun. He had a reputation for being quite tricky. He was quite young when we got him, and I took my time with him. Alan decided he was his horse, and he insisted on riding his horse a lot, and he still insists on riding his horse a lot. And he did, we used to go hacking, I hunted him. So the first year we went to Hoy's, we went really and just said, oh, wouldn't it be nice if he got a rosette? But it's nice just to be here. And when they were calling them out in reverse order, it got up to the last two, and Robert Walker was pulled in second. And I thought, oh, I wonder who's won. I was kind of looking back, I'm sure who's got this. And then they called out my number and I nearly fell off. Yeah, that was pretty special.
Certainly a moment that you'll never forget.
Yeah.
Now, that showing, you've had plenty of experience in lots of other disciplines, but why showing? Why take that streamlined route and take that option now?
I think probably it's a shame I'm not really better at eventing, because I would really like to do that. But my ability to see a stride is not as good as Piggy French is. I just think I found something that I'm good at, and it's something that we enjoy, myself and Alan, my partner, and my mum, as a family. It's something we're all passionate about, and I think you kind of get the bug, and once you get, you start going to these shows and you qualify for the Royal International, you qualify for Hoy's, it really sort of builds momentum. And over the years now, I've got 10 show horses. At the moment we're in July and I've got 9 Horse of the Year show tickets, which is it's a record for me.
It's pretty impressive.
Yeah. And we just I just think that it suits the horses, the lifestyle they have here, varied lifestyle, lots of hacking. We take them to the farm ride. I will never have more than 12 horses on the yard, because I think that then they get the right care. I just seem to have found something that I'm good at.
Perfect. A very busy season ahead. Windsor just coming up very soon indeed. Planning's a huge part of it, but management is a key part too.
Yeah.
The support from sponsors is absolutely crucial, and how influential is that on the work that you do here?
It's very, very important. I'm so lucky that Top Spec are a big part of what we do here. They provide the feed for all the horses, and I've always fed horses Top Spec even before I was a professional. I always fed it, and they started supporting me probably about 10 years ago when I qualified my event horse Indian King for the grassroots final at Badminton, and they've carried on. And for show horses particularly, the feed is so important, because we've got to get them looking shiny, we've got to get them looking well conditioned without being too fat. You've got to have the top line and the muscle. So I think the feeding and the work is a massive regime. Lister, clippers, clipping and trimming is a daily occurrence here, especially if we're busy with shows. So it's great that they're on board. My biggest and longest term supporter, Mole Valley Farmers, they're just brilliant. Mole Country Stores, they supply us with absolutely everything we need, from shavings to haylage. Obviously the Top Spec feed comes from there. Supreme Products, big part of what we do, the final touch-ups, the makeup. So I couldn't manage without them. It's pretty essential.
A whole host of sponsors.
Definitely.
And they need managing in quite a strict fashion. And of course, not long ago you took on Scott Rowley from SRPR. How crucial is the work of SRPR in terms of sponsorship management?
Scott has been absolutely great, because as a rider, busy rider, the last thing we think about really is emails and paperwork. And Scott managing my sponsors' expectations.
Well, over the next few weeks you'll be travelling over 1,000 miles to and from shows. one of the biggest ones though is Royal Windsor, just next week. Big plans?
Yeah, big plans. Big plans. 5 horses to Royal Windsor. Blinkobsby, he's won before, so there's always pressure, I think, of taking a winner back to try and win a big show again. Bart's our other superstar. He's won the Royal International, he's won Hoys, he's been second at Royal Windsor twice, so we're hoping Bart could maybe take a win, who knows. I've got some lovely other horses to take. I've got a new horse called Homestone's Tailor Made. He's a large hack. I'm really just getting to know him, so it'd be interesting to see how he and I cope together at a big show. It's our first big show together, so that'll be interesting. And my 3-year-old that I've had for a yearling, she's going to do the in hand. So yeah, we'll see how we get on.
Massive team effort, big week ahead, and we wish you all the very best of luck.
Thank you.
So, what a week at Windsor. 6 rides, 6 top 3 placings. Talk me through it.
Wow, yeah, pretty special. We arrived on the Wednesday and we took our 3-year-old into the coloured in-hand championship. She's called Ashley's Perfect Spirit, a horse that me and Alan have owned since she was a yearling. Led and shown very well by my good friend Stephen Lemon, who helps me a lot. And, you know, she's a big, strong 3-year-old and I'm not very good at running. So he took over the reins, he did a super job, she won and she was champion. We then went on to day 2, where we had Cobb Session, owned by Cheryl Owens, 5-year-old. He's only done a handful of shows, so we had no expectations of him. Cheryl was there to watch the family, so we were delighted. He finished 3rd in a very strong class of novice Cobbs. Then jumped on to Blinkobsby, who gave me a super ride. And originally we were pulled in 2nd. Alistair Hood was pulled in top on our Cashel Blue, our rival. And yeah, we won, and it was absolutely amazing. Marco went the best he's ever gone. He loves the big occasion. So then we went into the championship in the afternoon, and he was called forward as champion, and to gallop out on my lap of honour at the side of Alistair Hood, who was reserve champion, who, you know, has been one of my idols. I used to go and sit in those seats at Wembley and look at and think, gosh, I wish one day I could win something like that. It was pretty amazing, and it was very, very lovely of him. He brought over a bottle of champagne to our lorry to celebrate, and it was super kind. And I think when these professionals that you look up to all your life do things like that, it's just remarkable. Then we went into the afternoon, and Homestone's Tailor Made, owned by Janet Neild, Wurzel, the large hack, he was super. We weren't sure how he'd cope or how he'd get on. I've not had him long, I've only had him a few months, so it's a new partnership, and he gave me a super ride. He was 2nd, so he got his spin in the Castle Arena. In the championship he went beautifully, and then we went on to Saturday with Bart, who, poor old Bart, he's been knocking on the door at Windsor now for 3 years. He's been 2nd twice, and he was pulled in originally top, and the judge got on, and as he went into canter he just had a little bit of a tail swish and a hump and a buddy hop, and it's like, oh, it's great to be in the Queen's Garden. And we were like, oh, Bart, not today of all days, but that's horses, you know, they're not machines. They've all come home on the lorry, absolutely safe and sound. We've had a great time, and you know, we couldn't ask for better for any of them. The girls, Callie, Kira, Katie, who worked for me, just worked absolutely non-stop the whole time we were there. So, you know, we had an awesome week, and I couldn't be happier and more thankful to the team, really.
It's a massive team effort, and what a week of success there at Royal Windsor. Not only were you competing, but you were also a ride judge, and to mention in front of Her Majesty the Queen.
It was, yeah.
Added pressure?
Yes, absolutely added pressure. I judged the amateur and the novice classes, and I was a ride judge, so it's really nice because you get to ride these beautiful horses and just assess their ride and their way of going, and then, you know, give some feedback to your co-judge. and I'd done the first class, and the chief steward, he said, "Oh, Her Majesty will be down to watch you at 9:45." So I managed to find a disinfectant wipe that they've been sanitising horses' tack with to wipe my boots in, because I judged 2 classes and my boots are a bit muddy, so I thought, God, we've got to ride in front of the Queen, I've got dirty boots. So yeah, no, it was absolutely amazing, and she sat and watched, and you could tell she was so interested and so delighted to see her horses, and it's pretty special to judge Her Majesty's horses at her own show with her watching.
Of course. Many events that you compete at over the year. Does Royal Windsor hold quite a special place in your heart?
Yeah, it's there is everywhere you look, there's this real British feel to it. The household cavalry are there exercising their horses and cleaning their boots, and the King's Troop are there with their guns, and and then you've got top class dressage riders. The British eventing and dressage team were there on Wednesday, practicing their test before the Olympics. Where do you get to see all that sport in one place? With the royal box and the castle in the background, and it is very, very, very special, and it's very British, and I hope that it continues to go on for many years to come.
As we said earlier, 6 top 3 placings, plenty of success, but you're not done that this season.
No, not done yet.
What more have we got to come?
So we already we came back from Windsor on Sunday, and the horses actually came back early. They were home Friday night. The girls got some sleep and got the lorry changed around, and we headed up to Scotland to Scottish Horse Show, where we picked up 4 Hoys tickets, which is a record for me in one day. So that was a long few days. We got home at 12:30 at night. The horses are now all, the 10 of them, some of them went to Windsor, some of them went to Scotland. They're all out in the field now. They'll have a really easy few days. 4 of them are going to Great Yorkshire, and then there's a different set of horses. 8 of them are going to Royal International Exhibit, which is another pretty special place. And then we've got 9 Hoys tickets, so then it'll be all roads leading to the NEC, back to Hoys.
Plenty of success so far this year, plenty more to come. Look forward to seeing you out again, and the very best of luck for the rest of the season.
Thank you, fingers crossed.